Okay, so I just want to take time in this intro to just acknowledge and celebrate the fact that they did it. Rick Redorian stand the fuck up. OG Percy Jackson fans who read those books like their life depended on it, stand the fuck up. Because we are winning, baby! This is how you make a Percy Jackson series. This is how you make a Percy Jackson show. I want to yell so much louder, but my aunt and uncle are upstairs and I could get in trouble if my volume gets too crazy. So I'm going to try to contain myself, but I promise you, I promise all of you, even those who don't even know who Percy Jackson is, Disney Plus has a hit on their hands. If the rest of these seasons follow what this one did, Percy Jackson will be legend. Wait for it. Legendary. And with all that being said, hey guys, it's your guy in the chair here, and look, this is my review of Percy Jackson and the Olympians Season 1, spoiler-free, because I would like people to just experience this show for themselves. But look, I'm just going to be going over my overall thoughts of the series itself, and as you can tell from my intro, there's not a damn thing that I did not like about this series whatsoever. Everything exceeded my expectations. I came in on... I don't even know what the saying is, but I just came into this show kind of on the fence because I want it to be good. The Percy Jackson books, for me, were a highlight of my childhood. The Percy Jackson stories, I have always wanted to die on this hill, or I always told myself I would die on this hill, that if the Percy Jackson books got the right adaptation, they could be as big, not necessarily bigger, but it could be as big or damn near close to Harry Potter if those books were done correctly, because the story is phenomenal. Those books are absolutely tremendous, and the series itself did those book well it did The Lightning Thief, it did that book justice. I absolutely cannot believe how amazing this series is, and I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like I said, I was on the fence when I first came into this show because I wasn't necessarily sure about the casting, and not necessarily like the gods and things like that, but the kids, Percy Jackson, Annabeth, and Grover. I wasn't necessarily sure about them being so young, but as I'm watching the series itself, I'm honestly growing into the idea, because as the seasons go along and as, you know, stakes get bigger, you actually get to see these characters grow and turn into the heroes that we'll know by the last book, which is The Last Olympian, but hopefully we get there. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but I am really hoping that they allow this series to go all the way to the end, because I'm telling you, Percy Jackson is going to be honestly, with all the Marvel series, all the Marvel shows on Disney Plus right now, and even the future ones that are supposed to come out, I think Percy Jackson has the best chance at being Disney Plus's best show. Hands down, no competition whatsoever, if the rest of these seasons live up to what this one set up. Because this season is absolutely tremendous. So, to already get into what I already loved about the show, look, I'm going to start with the kid that played Percy Jackson. His name is Walker Scobell. This kid grew in front of my eyes, as like he just grew up as each episode went along. This kid is so mature. He's just like so advanced beyond his years. This kid really has some I don't know why I'm losing my thoughts. This kid has some spunk to him. This kid got some real spunk. I really like the charisma, the vibes, the aura that this kid gives off. He gives hero vibes. He gives the vibes. He has tremendous confidence. I mean, just the fact that these are kids acting like this, I can't wait to see what it's like when these kids are a lot older and they're dealing with the Titans at that point, because these kids are going to be ridiculous. Like, I loved this kid as Percy Jackson. I thought he was a huge standout in almost every episode. He had a lot of things to do. He had a lot of emotional weight to carry. He had a lot of weight to carry regardless, because not only is he the main character, but he's like the focal point of everything going on in this series. And there's so much that he has to go through and learn throughout the first season. And Walker Scobell just did a tremendous job at capturing all of that on screen. Loved Annabeth. Her name is Leah Jeffries. Annabeth was tremendous. And I am not lying to you when I say each and every one of these kids did 1,000 times better than their counterparts in the movies. Logan Lerman, loved that guy. Alexandra Daddario, loved that woman. Brandon T. Jackson, that's my guy. Tropic Thunder, look, booty sweat forever, baby. Brandon T. Jackson is the man. But I promise you, these kids shit on them. This series shit on those movies. Like, this season shit on those movies. This season told us that they are going to take Percy Jackson very seriously, and they are going to do the books correctly, and I loved it. Now, the kid that played Luke, I don't know the actor's name, loved him. I loved him, and I cannot wait to see more. That's what each and every one of these episodes did for me that I have to tremendously praise, is the fact that they just left me wanting so much more, and not only did they leave me wanting more, but they got me so excited for what's to come. Like, if you know the books and you know the story and you know what's coming ahead, like, there's no way you're not as excited as I am to see what they do with this show. And if you haven't if you haven't read the books before, don't even bother watching the movies. I probably recommend reading those books. I'm not necessarily the biggest book guy myself, but like I said, Percy Jackson was a big part of my childhood. So, I mean, if you want to read the books, definitely check them out because they are really good. But this series, like I said, this series is doing those books justice as far as I'm concerned. This first season was absolutely phenomenal. I loved Poseidon, Percy's mom, loved Hades, loved Hermes, loved Ares. I mean, everyone I felt like was so perfectly casted, and it's crazy because who played Hermes in, I think Nathan Fillion played Hermes in, the Percy Jackson movies, and we got Lin-Manuel Miranda in this one, and I really liked his portrayal a lot more. I liked everyone's portrayal in the series a lot more than I did in the movies, and on top of that, I really just have to praise this show for the pacing. I mean, this show did a very good job at staying at certain points of the show. They focused on some things for a pivotal amount of time. Some things they kind of just glanced through, but they didn't do it to the point where it felt like they were leaving you out of the loop, or it felt like you were missing out on some information. They did a very good job at emphasizing the things that needed to be emphasized, made sure they stay, like the casino episode, for example, the Lotus Casino. That was one of the best episodes of the season. They did a tremendous job with that episode. They really made that a highlight of this season for me. Another episode that I absolutely loved was, I think it was the Dionysus episode, where they went through the love tunnel or whatever, and they were talking about the story behind the gods and how they treat each other. And they are truly building this world up and creating the lore, and every episode felt like one of the books. When I tell you there are so many moments in this series in this season that make you, that if you've read the books, there are so many moments in this season where you can do the Leonardo DiCaprio,
here I come. Oh, here I come.
You can do that and literally recall things from the book. There are so many book moments in this show. It just felt so nostalgic, so amazing to see. I loved every bit of this season. I am so heartbroken that we only got 8 episodes, but like I said, the pacing of these episodes were really good. The pacing was actually way better than I expected, and honestly, the pacing really stood out in the finale. The finale's pacing fit everything it needed to fit into 40 minutes, and it told it very well. Nothing felt rushed. Nothing felt skipped over. It truly set up everything it needed to set up for what's to come. And I just can't say enough about how amazing this show was, guys. I mean, thank you. Thank you, Disney Plus, because Us Percy Jackson fans deserve this. We deserve what's going on right now in Disney Plus, man. We deserve a show like this. We deserve some content like this. And I really just can't believe how amazing this series was. But look, those are my thoughts overall, just on how much I loved Percy Jackson and the Olympians season 1, and I can't wait for season 2, 3, and 4. Can't wait for the Titans to show up. Can't wait for Luke and Percy to go at it. I can't wait to see who they cast as Thalia. I can't wait for Thalia to show up in the show. I will say this. I am very curious as to how they're going to handle Zeus's character, or who they're going to replace Lance Reddick with, R.I.P., because he would have been a perfect Zeus. He definitely gets a moment to do a little something in this series, but of course he's not going to be able to do anything else. R.I.P. to that man. But he did a tremendous job here. He was going to be a phenomenal Zeus. I am very curious as to who they're going to choose to replace that man, but I was very glad to see him in this series. Like I said, all the gods did such a very good job in this show. It's amazing. Please, if you have not watched it, please check it out, because it is definitely worth the watch. And look, those are my thoughts on Percy Jackson season 1, guys. Let me know in the comments what you thought about it. Did you think they lived up? If you're a fan of the books, do you believe that this season lived up to the Lightning Thief? See, I'm getting ahead of myself because I just want this series to live up to what the rest of these books are. Because I promise you, if you have not read the books, it only gets better and crazier from here. Once we get to the Titan's Curse, oh my God. We are going to go crazy. But regardless, thank you guys so much. Be sure to comment below your thoughts on the season itself. Be sure to comment if you felt like it lived up to the books. Just comment below in general. Let me know how you guys are doing. Life is hard. Just let me know what's up. But look, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and so much more. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Look, this is your guy in the chair. More content coming to you soon.